You are the vehicle to your own success whenever it comes to anything. This is why I got into holistic medicine. I'm an Ayurvedic health counselor. I love yoga. I'm a somatic practitioner. I'm into everything holistic. I just want you to understand that you can heal yourself. People will ask me like, oh, Eva, or Ava, however you want to pronounce it. How are you 5 steps ahead? Like, how have you been able to manifest everything that you desire? And the reason that I've been able to do so is literally by trusting my intuition. And today I want to explain how I cleanse my own energy. That is the beauty about anything spiritual. It's not necessarily like a rule book. Like, I'm just showing you the things I do to cleanse my own energy. All of the systems in the body are important. Duh, like they all work together. But in Ayurveda, in the holistic medicine, the liver, like the digestive system, is probably the most important. We need to be able to process not only food. And when we think of digesting, you're probably thinking like, oh, it's what I'm eating. So if I eat meat, it's gonna take a really long time for me to digest that, which is true. But we're not only digesting food, I'm digesting this tea that I'm drinking. I'm digesting the information that I'm seeing, the information that I'm hearing. Like, let's say I hear something that was really hard for me to hear. The other day I went to like this Buddhist meditation and he said this, and I was like, wow. Like, if you're at a party, you could be at a party having a fun time, and all of a sudden you get a call and someone says, yeah, your dog died. You're gonna have chills, like shivers all around your body, because obviously you just received really sad and terrible news. You have to digest and process that information. So everything that you're hearing, you're digesting. It's affecting your body. It's affecting your cells. That's why when we go to these sound healing ceremonies where I'm someone that I love to cook and listen to like really like nice shamanic frequencies or different frequency music, which is another way that you can cleanse your energy. But it's not always the same. Now, while I think it's super relaxing and I will continue to listen to my meditation music, it's not the same as having like these instruments behind me. I love the singing bowls, but like gongs, like different instruments might penetrate your body more. They can help change our frequency. So if you are constantly listening to affirmations, really beautiful things, like beautiful words. Imagine if you woke up and every single day someone was there to tell you, wow, you're the most beautiful person in the world. I love how you look. I love how you dress. Like the way that you carry yourself is so stunning. You're going to be like really uplifted. You're going to be like, oh my God, thanks. Like I feel super, happy with myself. I feel confident because everyone around me tells me that I'm beautiful. Now, on that same token, if you hear someone saying, wow, you look so bad today, and like really unnecessary, ugly stuff that I don't even like to put that out. Like, I don't even want to say it. You're going to have to digest that. And you're going to be like, oh, like you're going to think about that. That's why I am a huge advocate for if anyone around you is being negative, bye. Also with family, like you have to protect your energy. And a lot of times people love to be like, oh, well, if they're your family members, you need to just like be nice, or you need to have a good relationship with them. And I don't necessarily think that that's true. I think that there's one thing is being cordial, right? One thing is being like, okay, if we see each other in a family setting, we're good. But another thing is letting people into your personal life and your personal space. Your aura is your personal space, and you need to protect that. I am the number one advocate of that, because literally like we all deal through karmas, right? We all go through karmas. In Ayurveda, like a lot of the stuff is from Hinduism. They explain how karmas are generated. Like if I do something bad to you and like I'm just a terrible person and then I die, that's going to continue. That's going to be imprinted, and then that's going to continue in my next lives. So what happens then in my next life, I pay for it. So like let's say in this life, you're a man who mistreats women and you're super abusive to women. In your next life, maybe you're going to be a woman that gets really mistreated by men, or you're a woman that cannot make any male friendships. Or no, my bad. Maybe you're a woman that cannot make any women friendships. Like maybe you're like, oh my God, I find it so hard to become friends with women, and it's because in your past life, you were really bad to women. Now, I don't believe in victim mentalities. Please, like if you have the victim mentality, you have to leave that at the door, because there's no way that you're going to be able to heal and cleanse your energy by having that victim mentality. But on that same token, so we generate these karmas. Every single thing that you see in your life is a result of your karma. That's why, like, I used to have this, like, oh my God, I really want to see what I was in a past life. Like, who was I in my past life? And then I studied under this guru, and I was like in an ashram consistently for like a year. And the guru, he told me, he was like, stop trying, like, it's not really a good thing that you want to figure out who you were in a past life, because a lot of times it's not pretty. Like, and then I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, I probably want to find out that I was just like this beautiful princess, you know, that lived in a castle and was treated great. But what if I was a bad person? And I don't think I was. Then the response I got was, if you want to see who you were in a past life, look at your life now. So I look at my life with so much abundance. Like, I'm looking around, I'm looking to my kitchen right now, and I'm so happy to be in this space. This is my home. Like, I let you into my home. This is the most sacred spiritual space I could have you in. Like, I'm bringing you here. It's so abundant and it's so magical to me. So I know that, okay, I know what I'm working with from a past life because of the things that I have dealt with in this life. I want you to do the same thing. So, like, let's say you have anyone in your personal life. A lot of times it's our family. So, and this is going to tie into the energetic cleansing, because it's about the people that you have around you. That concept that the 5 people closest to you represent who you are and how you're going to think. It is true. Like, I used to not want to believe that, but it is a little true. The people that were brought into your life in this lifetime are to bring you lessons. You're supposed to learn from them. Let's say I had a really bad relationship with my maternal figure. Now, a lot of people have a lot of like father issues, where the masculine aspect of their life, it was just missing, or it wasn't present, or it wasn't portrayed in a good, healthy way. And maybe in my life, it was the maternal. So I decided to distance myself. Of course, there's like a huge airplane passing. So I decided to distance myself at a very young age. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because everyone in my family was like, you need to be close to your maternal figure. It's not okay for you to just kind of go away and like just not like ignore and like not talk to them. Like, that's not okay. Like, at the end of the day, it's your mom. And I remember from a young age that I was like, no, because if someone is going to disrespect me and my energy and is going to bring negativity into my life, I don't need that. I'm already going through X stuff and I don't need any negativity. And that type of boundaries, like, I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says, you need to have those types of boundaries in your life, because that translates to everything. That translates to your romantic relationships, to your friendships, to your businesses, which at the end of the day, I am a huge believer that we each have a purpose here. And a lot of times we can materialize this purpose, because if we're genuinely helping people, if you're wanting to bring impact to people's lives, you can make money with it. But part of that is having these boundaries, because that's how your energy is going to be controlled. Like, if I'm just giving my energy and pouring out to everyone else, but then everyone is just draining me and no one is replenishing me, then I don't think that that's fair. And it's not necessarily other people's jobs to be nourishing you, but it is my job to surround myself with people who genuinely care for me. And I know that we go through ebbs and flows. There's seasons. Maybe there's a season where someone is like really focused on themselves and on their business and they're not going to be pouring so much into me. That's fine. But as long as when we're together, I better be receiving love, and this is going to be the exchange, because I'm not going to be pouring out love into other people's lives if I'm not receiving that. I cut that off right away, and I will never feel bad about it. I will never be rude, but I will never feel bad about it. And that is so important with energy cleansing. So as much as I want to explain to you the teas, which I'm going to get into right now, I love drinking tea. But I'm not going to drink tea with someone who's draining my energy. You need to be really careful with your boundaries. And also, if you're someone who has sex, you also need to be extremely careful with your sexual interactions, because that is a huge, like, that can just take away all of your energy. As women, we need to be connected to our womb, right? It's literally in the name. And that's something that I think is so beautiful. A lot of us, we complain when we're on our menstruation, but because it can be painful, because it's just like you feel out of it. And every time I go to India, it's interesting, because when I'm there, I stay for like a month at a time. And I'm doing these detoxes. It's called panchakarma. It's like a 21-day detox. So let's say I'm doing this detox and I get my period. It's not as painful, it's not as long, and it's not as like soul-sucking as when I'm in the US. And a lot of that is because in the US, I'm usually in a state of we're trying to rush everywhere, which isn't good. Like, my girl, we need to slow things down a little bit. The idea is to just relax into our feminine. I know that we're doing a million things. I know that we have all of these things that we need to get done. But it's beautiful being able to just sit in your feminine and also do things with grace. Like, I run businesses, you know, I do things maybe at a smaller scale than like huge corporations, obviously, but the way I manage my life is like a business, and we have to be able to just take things a little bit slower. And that doesn't mean that nothing gets done, because I used to think like, well, if I just sit down, nothing's gonna get done. Well, I don't just sit down. I don't just sit and watch TV. I've actually never watched a show on here. I literally only play music and yoga videos. But I do love to sit and read sometimes. But it's also a blessing to be able to sit down and even have the mental capacity to be able to sit and read, because a lot of times we're so like overwhelmed, and that's not great. So over there in India, I find myself having these like lighter periods, and I think it's a lot of it is because I'm taking a lot of herbs and I'm eating a diet that is removing heat from my body, because in Ayurveda we have these 3 doshas. So it's Pitta, Vata, Kapha. You guys are more than welcome to look into it. I love Ayurveda. I definitely recommend extending your knowledge into that, into holistic medicine. Also, Chinese medicine is very similar. If you are someone that is into acupuncture and acupressure, these are also great energy cleansers. And if you're interested in it, I definitely encourage you to look into it. These are it interests you for a reason. The same way that I was always into the holistic medicine and I decided to go into Ayurveda specifically was probably because in a past life I was studying this. Like, I genuinely believe that, and in the Hindu scriptures they do talk a little bit about that. Like, the people that are called into this path have been doing it for other years. So if you even have like a small, like, oh, I want to learn about astrology, or I want to learn about grounding or something that is going to help nourish your system, I definitely recommend you pouring time into it. Reading books. There's so many different books that are amazing. I have a whole book collection. And sometimes we don't have the capacity to sit and read, but there's also YouTube videos. There's everything. We have the internet, baby girl. We have all of the resources possible. And going back to the India, when I'm there, I'm not as stressed out, so I have lighter periods. And then in the US, I've tried to have that translate a little bit. So I love to do cycle syncing. Now, that's one of my goals for this year. I really want to go a little bit more into it and like learn even more how I can just nourish my body throughout its cycles, because we are not built to work like men. We're not supposed to be going through burnout. Now, I'm someone that I've gone through so much burnout throughout my lifetime, and I will probably continue to burn out throughout my long life. But at least I have a little bit more support and a little bit more knowledge on how I can nourish my body throughout my cycles and throughout these phases that my body goes through. So one of the biggest things that I've learned is that when I am going through this cycle, treat it as a shedding period. That is a huge energy cleanser, right? You want to cleanse your energy when you're going, well, if you're a woman that goes through a period and that has one, it's just so beautiful when we're sexually interacting with someone, we're gaining a lot of their energy. And that's why I'm so and I am the biggest advocate for girl, you do what you gotta do. If that's how you want to express your sensuality, express it that way. If you enjoy it, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. However, it's really important that you genuinely want to exchange energy with this person, because if you wouldn't want to exchange energy with them, if you don't want to have the emotions that they have, why put that cord between you and this person? It's an energetic cord. You're energetically connecting. And I also know that sometimes you can't just stop. Let's say you're in a relationship and you're okay, well, for now, I'm not gonna just stop having intercourse. Well, my advice would be to try to minimize it whenever the other person or both of you guys are having any feelings of stress, because this is also that's not good at all. And sometimes you just try to minimize as the amount of sex you're having, instead of doing this all the time. Because if you're not 100% happy in that area of your life, it's going to drain you a lot. And I just say this as a friend, as someone who has gone through periods of celibacy and abstinence, and it genuinely has helped me so much, because all of that energy that you're channeling and you're giving to someone else, you are giving to yourself, and you can give to your business and other aspects of your life. And the reason that I'm so adamant about wanting to love yourself on your period, nourish yourself while you're going through this menstruation phase, is because your body is energetically shedding, And you don't need to send hate to it. Oh, I'm bloated. Oh, I'm breaking out. No, like you do not need to give your body that hateful energy when your body is literally doing the most magical thing it can do. It's shedding itself. You didn't say, okay, on this day we're gonna shed. No, your body has a clock, it has a cycle, and naturally it's getting rid of any attachments, energetic attachments it has, anyone's energy. It's literally shedding it away. You're getting rid of that any energy. You're shedding your body is helping itself. You're getting rid of the old and coming in with the new. I would definitely look into cycle syncing because that's going to help you a lot. And just try to be kind to yourself. The next thing that I would love to go into with the energy cleansing is grounding. So I love to ground. I'll go outside, like even, I mean, I live in a city, right? So right now it's been a little hard for me to go and actually ground in the grass, but I still love to be outside. And look, I get it. The cement here is probably super dirty. If you don't want to go barefoot, don't go barefoot. But even being outside and just getting the energy of the earth, of the frequencies, we're frequency, okay? Like, we're frequency. Have you guys seen the videos where people have like, I think it's sand, and then they play like the sound bowls or sound healing instruments, and then all of a sudden you can see the chakra symbols or like the sand moves around. That's literally like, I mean, it's the power of these sound waves. It really does go into us. Same way that when we go outside, the trees emit a frequency. I mean, our phones emit a frequency, our computers, our laptops, all of the things that we're constantly on, the electricity, it's affecting us. But then go outside and go sit next to a tree or be around a tree or just go take a walk without headphones, please. Because I walk with headphones sometimes, but it's really nice to just take walks outside without external stimulants. Sometimes we just need to be able to just sit in stillness. So I love grounding. I think that that's super helpful, as well as different teas. So what you eat is also going to affect your energy. So when you need to cleanse your energy, this is when people go into fasting. Now, some people do like, 1 day fast, 36 hours fast, like whatever amount you think is doable, do it. Just do your research so that you're properly supported, because if you don't properly support your body before a fast, then you're gonna have a really hard time. Like I see people all the time doing these fasts where it's literally like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna fast, and then they just drink juice or like something like, and it's like, oh my God, like, no. Like, no, I want to like tell them like, no, like that's not, you have to support your body like by eating the right foods beforehand, because I don't do long fasts. But I just find that it affects my hormones a little bit, but everyone is different. That's why I tell you maybe look into it, but try to support your body like correctly, because I've done that before. I've done like, oh, I'm going to do a day fast, and then I don't prepare properly for it, and then it's not even good for me. So then what you want to do, end your normal eating cycle with like lighter foods and then do the fast. So you're not just like, oh, I'm gonna have a really big steak and then the next day you're just like starving yourself, because that maybe your body's not gonna process it like a spiritual fast if you do it like that. Also different teas. This one that I'm having is burdock root, dandelion root, and milk thistle. So this is a liver detoxing tea. I drink it anytime that I'm breaking out, usually when I'm in my hormonal cycle. That's a lot of times I just want to like cleanse. Anytime I feel like I've been eating a lot of meat, I just like to go through like little like breaks where I'll be like, okay, this week I'm not going to eat any, like even that. Like I saw on TikTok this one girl saying like, I want to be vegan, but I like to eat bacon. And then people were like, bro, do vegan plus bacon, like do vegan and bacon. And I think that that's amazing, because I have always been a believer in that. Like I used to be vegan, and I was vegan plus sushi because I love sushi. So it's like, okay, if I'm vegan for 25 days of the month, and then some days I had some sushi, that's fine. I'm still, and especially for me that I would chose to be vegan for like ethical reasons. I love the fact that people are supporting balance, because if you're not able to go into the extreme, that's okay. Like support yourself with where you can meet yourself. So it's just like, okay, if you're eating a little bit bad, the energy in the food is really important. So you want to cleanse your energy, preferably try to eat food that is like more clean. Think of like an elephant. Like an elephant is going to eat like, not veggies, but like grass, right? So like they're going to be eating like leaves, greens. And the elephant is known for being like this poised, like elegant, sophisticated, intelligent animal. And then a lion, you think of a lion, you're just like, oh, a lion is eating like raw meat. And then think of how the lion acts. The lion is so like, fiery, roaring, aggressive. So you are channeling the energy of the food that you're eating. So if you're eating vegetables and just like calmer foods than like eating steak all the time, naturally, like your energy, you might be a little bit actually more awake. Now I get it, everyone has to reach their protein. I'm not convincing anyone to do anything. I eat meat sometimes, but I'm just saying that pay really close attention to what you're eating, because if you're feeling like you want to cleanse your energy a little bit, maybe take a break from that. And then the teas are amazing. I think they're so great for just like supporting your lymphatic system, your blood system. A lot of times, so I do with therapy, I work with lymphatic systems all the time. And I think it's so interesting how the lymphatic system in our blood, it holds these old stories that we tell ourselves, these ancestral, like if you tell yourself. I read a book recently and they gave the example of, like, let's say an Arabic woman from an Arabic household, her father hits her all the time, but in her mind, he's just being like, she doesn't like it, but she's not going to be like, oh my God, he's abusing me. Like, she doesn't think that because it's so normalized in her culture. So obviously she doesn't like it and she thinks it's annoying. Maybe she's like, ugh, like, obviously she doesn't want that to happen to her, but she's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm being super abused and being neglected. This is child harm. And then you take that same girl and you put her to watch the news with a bunch of American women that are like, oh my God, like, you know, you're on the Oprah show. This is literally what the book said. I'm just quoting what the book said. And it's like, you're on the Oprah show and sharing how your father was hitting you and abusing you, and you're crying, you're saying all this trauma. That Arab girl is going to be like, oh my God. And I'm just saying Arab because this was the example in the book. Girl's like, oh my gosh, like, my father has been abusing me. And then now you create the story that, like, okay, I'm being abused. And then now it starts to affect her health. She starts to slip away in school. She starts to cry herself to sleep. She can't sleep at night. It starts to affect her. But before, it didn't really affect her because it was the story that she told herself, oh, this is normal. But then when she figured out, oh, this is actually not normal, this is not okay, then it starts to affect her. Now, in this case, I just want you to be able to translate that story into other parts of your life, where, like, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? In dating, are you constantly telling yourself there's no good men out there, all the men cheat, there's terrible, like the dating scene is really bad? Well, if that's the story you're telling yourself, that's exactly what you're going to be seeing. That's exactly what you're going to mirror. So my extended invitation to you is to just kind of realize the stories that you're telling yourself, because that is affecting you a lot energetically. Like, even when I have insomnia, like the last couple of days, I haven't been able to sleep a lot. When I feel like that, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even like to say, oh, I'm having insomnia, or I haven't been able to sleep, because then that is a story that I'm telling myself, instead of just being like, oh, yeah, like, oh, who knows? And then tonight I'm going to go to bed early, and I don't think about it. Like, if I don't think about it, then I probably will go to bed early. But if I try to go to bed early and then I tell myself this story, oh, I haven't been able to sleep in days, oh, I'm having such a hard time sleeping, while I'm in bed, I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm going to be up for hours. And so it's really important. The mental aspect of everything is extremely important. We have to be really conscious of the stories that we tell ourselves, and that ends up getting integrated in our systems, in our cells. And that's why I really push, work on your lymphatic system, drink teas, eat foods that are light, airy. They're not airy, actually. That's in Ayurveda, that's vata, so like maybe not super airy, but like, yeah, lighter foods, like easier to digest. That's what I meant. Eat foods that are easier to digest, and that will probably be a little bit easier for you, especially when you're trying to work on like your traumas and do the shadow work, because it's really important when trying to cleanse your energy. Like, I genuinely believe, like, I do Reiki on myself, and I haven't even been trained formally. I'm going to be trained soon to do Reiki properly, but I have been doing Reiki on myself for years. I just make it up. Like, it's literally the intention that you put out there, babe. Like, literally, however you want to cleanse your energy. If I'm going to sit here right now and I visualize this green energy of just healing light, like a healing light that's just going to help me, nourish my organs, nourish my blood, and it's just circling all over me. And then I just imagine me picking up whatever toxins, whatever bad energy, and I imagine it going away. Just with that, I already feel better. 5 seconds of your day. Everyone says, oh, 5 minutes of your day. I bet you haven't even committed 5 minutes to your day, 5 minutes to your morning, the second you wake up, to just sit in stillness. I bet you look at your phone the second you wake up, and that's fine, but stop telling yourself the story that you don't have time. You do have the time. You just haven't actually taken the initiative to change your life. Stop looking at other people's lives and being like, oh my God, they're so far away from what I want. No, they're not far away from you, because you think that they're far away from you and that they're just on this other level that you haven't been able to achieve yet. You're separating yourself from it. Energetically, you have to just wipe whatever you do not need, but you need to be clear with yourself, because we all have traumas. I'm the first person to sit and be like, yes, I have been through so much shit. What am I going to do about it? Because I'm not going to sit with a victim mentality. I have worked through my trauma. I have worked through all the shit that I've been through, and I've been able to alchemize that energy. As they say, I don't know what scientist said it. Maybe it was like Isaac Newton or something. But like, that energy cannot be created. It's only transformed. Transform that energy. Alchemize that energy. If someone sends you bad energy, you can just send that energy right back to them, or transmute that energy into good energy. We are the alchemists. Like, we are able to do this. You're able to change your energy. You're able to detox yourself. You can do the teas, you can eat the good food, you can work with the crystals. I wanted to talk about crystals right now too. But the most important thing is the mental aspect and what you genuinely believe. Like, if you genuinely believe you're going to have a great day and that your energy is cleansed, like if I do this and I genuinely believe, like, oh my God, I just cleansed my energy. You are cleansing your energy. Like, you are cleansing it by genuinely believing that. I think of that as I'm shutting it away. I'm getting rid of it. And trust me, right now, I just put energy all over my floor. It's not on me anymore. So let's talk about the crystals. I sleep with this crystal. So, okay, hold on. Before we get into the crystals, a lot of people are like, oh, that's so woo-woo. If you think it's woo-woo, that's fine. Don't get into it. Or maybe you can buy a beautiful amethyst for your home and just look at it for decoration. I do believe that these crystals activate certain like cells in our body, and they just like activate different frequencies. So I sleep with this orange calcite. This is a really good energetic cleanser. It's really good in terms of, so you see the color, it's really good for our sacral chakra. Our sacral chakra is right above our belly button, and it deals with your confidence, how you view yourself, how others view you, also your direction, like kind of like your passion and like your devotion to the direction you're going towards. So having someone with a really good sacral chakra is like, okay, they already have clarity on what they're doing, and like it's activated, baby. Like, they know where they're going. They're like they're going full towards that. So this crystal is really good for your sacral. I sleep with it next to my bed just because it's really good for cleansing your energy in general. It also is good for activating creativity. So activating like that frequency of creativity. That way you're able to like tap into your passions, your purpose. I'm a Pisces, okay? So I'm water and I'm a little emotional, but I think that that's actually like one of my strong suits. When I was younger, people would be like, oh my God, you're so emotional. You shouldn't cry at everything. Literally the other day, I was late to an appointment and they had a 15-minute cutoff, which I understand. But I had gotten there 17 minutes late, so I was 2 minutes after the cutoff. And they were like, oh, you're a little late. And I started crying. And I was like, please, you don't understand. The GPS told me to exit, but the exit was closed on the highway. They're doing construction. You think that they give a fuck? They don't care. But because I was crying and I was emotional, they actually let me have my appointment. So I'm not saying to go and cry. I'm just saying that like being emotional is not always the worst thing ever. It just shows, it just shows your real vulnerable state, right? Like if you see a crying kid, you might be like, oh, like, let me go and console it. A crying dog, you're going to be like, oh, baby, come here. Let me cuddle you. Like, don't worry. So it cleanses your emotions a little bit, which I think is really helpful for me because I'm a water sign, but probably for any sign. Like if you're emotional at all, it's a really good crystal. But crystals in general, I feel like they're super great for manifesting too. Crystal's really good for money. So I'm going to be like, okay, when I'm manifesting money, I'm going to hold this crystal as I think about, okay, and I talk to the universe, I talk to God, and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to alchemize this, and I want to have this business do really well this month because I want to be able to pour money into this or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Work with crystals. I find it to be super, super helpful. Just want to emphasize that this is your world. Like, it's what you make of it. It's how you wake up and how you want to use your own body. Your body's never working against you, my love. It's always working with you. Your body just wants to help you. Your body wants to be with you. Your body wants to just hold you and nourish it. Nourish your body. I'm a somatic practitioner, an Ayurvedic health counselor. I do wood therapy, lymphatic drainage. I do a bunch of stuff, but more importantly, I'm a human and I am part of this experience. And throughout this experience, I have learned so much that has helped me. So I hope that I could at least shed some light and just kind of get your brain going a little bit for some new things that you can look into on your own. feel free to follow me. You can connect with me on socials. I'll have everything in the bio because, you know, I'm amazing and you should follow me and we should connect because this is what my purpose is here. And I also hope that you can be inspired to lean into what your purpose is. But bye, guys.